Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of RiesKitchen. Today we're making a really super simple, quick but amazingly delicious dish, curried mussels Goan style. The star of the show is going to be our Victorian blue mussels, and there's not many ingredients, so let's get straight into it, shall we? So first up we do have our Victorian blue mussels, onion, chilli and garlic, some minced ginger, cumin and turmeric, mustard seeds, coconut milk, salt and pepper, and then to garnish some coriander and lime wedges. So the star of this dish is definitely the mussels. Now there are so many myths out there around mussels. The most important thing to know is we need to be sure that the mussels are good to eat before we cook them, not after we cook them. And so the way to do that is that, because these are still alive when you buy them from your fishmonger, the way to do that is to make sure that they're healthy. So if they've got any cracked shells, discard them straight away. You don't know when that got broken and when that mussel got injured. But the other big tell is when they're open. So most of these are closed, but I do have one here that I want to show you what I mean about open. But the mussels also have this hairy thing called a beard, and that's actually their mouth. That's what they filter the bay water through. You can de-beard them now, but it's a lot of hard work, and I'm going to show you the much easier way to do it. But what I want to do first up is put these out of this bowl into a bowl of just cold water, so that I'm hoping that they'll open up a little bit and lose some of the grit and sand that they've collected during their life in the bay just into the bottom of my bowl, because I want it here, not in my sauce. So first up, I'm just going to pop them through. Now I've got a couple here that are quite open, so I'm going to show you how you can tell that they're healthy and just hungry. Now when I'm going to tap them and I'm going to want them to close. They're not going to snap shut like a crocodile mouth. They're going to slowly, it's going to take a bit of time. So I'm going to tap them and leave them on the bench, sort through the others and then come back to make sure that they have closed. But let's have a look at this fellow, because he is quite open. Well, he's attached to this other one as well. So I hope you can see there that he's quite open, a good probably half a centimetre, if not more. So I'm just going to tap him on the side of my bench, and I'm going to want him to close. Now I can see him moving there, you possibly can't from the camera angle, but I'm just going to put him on my bench and let's give him a minute or two. The same with this one, we're open a little bit, I'm going to tap him and just put him on my bench. In fact, all of them that as I've tapped have closed up. You can see all the water in my bowl here. That's what's come out of them as they've opened up, feeling a bit hungry sitting out on my bench. That was all sitting inside. That'll be quite salty and a little gritty. That's what I'm trying to get to happen here. So you need to soak them for about 20 minutes, half an hour. And you can see from that water a lot of grit and sand that's come out, which is why we then soak. We don't want that sitting in our sauce. So now that we've had our mussels soaking, I'll be able to show you in this water soon all the bits that have come out from them. You can sometimes see a little bit of stuff on the outside, and there are those people who scrub it. I don't. It's not going to change anything in the taste of our mussel. So into a cold pan with nothing in it, we'll place our mussels. So we don't want to overcrowd the pan, so this is a good size for this amount of mussels. I could probably put another couple of mussels in if we were really hungry. Lid on, and then on a medium gas, we're just going to cook that till we get quite a lot of foam, and that'll tell me that they've all opened. And your water here, that as I'm tipping that out, I don't know if you can see, but I've got probably as much grit and sand in here as what I had in that original bowl as well. So again, the reason we do this is so that all of that isn't going to end up in our mussels and in our sauce. We do it separately. All right, so I've got a lot of bubbling going on here. Good facial. So take the lid off. And what I have is most of the mussels, as you can see, have opened up beautifully. Hopefully one won't be, so I can show you how to open them. Now it's always surprising how much mussel juice is in the pan here. This is very flavoursome. I always strain it off, pop it in the freezer, and this is what I use as my fish stock for all sorts of other recipes. It has such a lovely aroma. Now I'm just going to take that away and aside. Now, all of my mussels today, of course, opened because I wanted to show you what to do if they don't. But this one's barely opened, so I'm just going to show you. As you can see, we have in our mussel, put my knife down, they have a pointy end and a round end. And on the round end, there's also a flatter side and a curved side. The abductor for the mussel shell is actually on that curved bend there. So if a mussel hasn't opened properly or opened fully, what you do, this one's still a little hot, is that you carefully pop your knife down and bring it down to that abductor. Often you'll get a lot more water. As you can see, it's not fully opened, and then I'm able to open. And the ones that haven't opened much, even though a lot of people will tell you you've got to throw them out, you'll actually find that they're really big ones like this one is. And they didn't like the hotter water and have clammed right shut, trying to avoid that. So the ones that you're throwing out, if you throw out the ones that haven't opened, are usually the biggest and the juiciest. But now that I've got this one open, I'll show you the easy way to debeard, as we talked about before. Let's grab another bowl. And so to debeard, I literally grab the beard, pinch the two shells together, and then I can very easily pull that beard out, and that can be discarded, and that is just a perfect ready to eat mussel. And for today's recipe, we're just going to pop them in the shell like that. Okay, so we pinch and a little tug, and that's ready. So now to make our wonderful curry sauce. So I'm just starting to heat up my pan, and I'll pop a little bit of olive oil in. And I've diced my onions fairly fine. Doesn't have to be super fine, but fairly fine. We'll just let that heat up a little bit, and then we're going to brown these until they're just starting to take on a golden colour. Something about the smell of cooking onions, isn't there? Just gets your juices flowing and your appetite going. Just divine. Okay, so these are nice and starting to go a nice golden colour. So into there, I'm going to add my chilli that I've also chopped up fairly finely, and I've left the seeds in. I'm going to crush my garlic in. Pop in our spices now. And our ginger. So having cooked those spices for a couple of minutes and they've become very aromatic, I'm now going to add in my coconut milk and just stir it through and get up all that goodness off the bottom of the pan as well. Now we only want this to simmer, we don't want it to boil, and I just cook it for about 3 or 4 minutes. So a little bit of pepper. Now, depending on how the freshness of your mussels, you don't really need much salt, but just a little bit of seasoning to bring out the flavour. Such a pity you're not in my kitchen right now. The aroma coming off this pan is just amazing. So now I'm going to pop our mussels in. It's going to water down our sauce a little bit, but what I want to do is just warm them all through. And we're only a minute or so away from serving. Now for all the details of today's recipe, don't forget to check out my blog at the link below. But as always, the best bit's in the eating. So with a squeeze of lime, the mussel's plump and juicy. The zing of that chilli, the smoothness of the coconut. this amazing family recipe that's done in under half an hour. I'm sure your family will enjoy as much as mine do. Until next time, everybody, ciao.